In her office, with a line of sight down to the tomb of the unknown soldier at the War Memorial, she's weighed the terrible personal cost for the military families whose sons and husbands and brothers didn't come home from Afghanistan alive. For those who finished their military service unharmed, there's another issue afoot. Some veterans think they should get a better deal from government in how their military pensions are indexed. David Jamison takes up that issue.
Prime Minister, you say you value the men and women of the Defence Force, yet you renege on your obligations in their employment contract by calculating superannuation entitlements using life expectancy tables that are 50 years out of date, by taxing their superannuation even after the age of 60, and by using the acknowledged inappropriate CPI index to adjust their superannuation pensions to cater for cost of living increases. Bearing in mind the purpose of indexing payments is to maintain their purchasing power, that the Bureau of Stats says that the CPI is not a cost of living measure, and based on your government's own figures, the cost to fairly index military superannuation would be less than $20 million in the first year. My question is this: what has prevented you from fairly indexing military superannuation entitlements at the same percentage used for the age and service pensions? And will you reconsider your present position and fulfil the promise you made in opposition to index military superannuation pensions fairly to maintain their purchasing power?
David, thank you for the question, and I know it's of concern to a lot of people, and thank you too for your service. And I think all Australians value the people who go and do some really tough stuff for our nation in the Defence Force, and I get the opportunity to meet with those people, to meet with their families, to see them up close and personal, and they're a remarkable group of Australians, and a remarkable group of Australians who have sustained some very, very tough times, including in our mission in Afghanistan. On how we then support and value people and how the military superannuation system works. The military super system's different from, the age pension or our sort of welfare entitlements. It's a super system that's different too from the sort of 9% now going to 12% that is compulsory for employees in different walks of life. You can have an employer contribution of up to 30%. People can get their pension after 20 years of service, which is understandable, but that's quite different from Australians in other walks of life who can't access their pension until they're in older age ranges. And so, there is a question about how you best then index. We haven't used the same indexation measures as the age pension, which is a welfare benefit for people who really need to rely on that. We've kept the indexation arrangements that were in the scheme when we came to government. We have had this looked at by committees, and it's been looked at and inquired into on a number of occasions, and it hasn't been the subject of a clear recommendation to government that it should be changed. On the costs, you referred to the first year cost, but overall the cost is considerable. It's a more than $6 billion change, and so of course that's something that we have to weigh up compared with all of the other demands that there are for government resources, many of which those demands benefit people in the military too. They obviously want their kids to go to great schools. They want to know that if someone in their family got sick, the hospital in their community could help them out. So I understand why you're so passionately pursuing this case. Not in a position to agree with you on it, but I hope you understand that we have thought about it, very, very seriously and tried to work our way through to what we think are fair arrangements for the military super scheme, and that, I think, is keeping it in the form that it's been for a long period of time.
Okay, well, we're seeing lots of tweets about Julia Gillard being the first female Prime Minister of the country.